Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always ready to dig into something interesting.
Well, today we're looking at something that might seem, at first glance, kind of ordinary, like a blip on the local news.
Oh, what's that?
A semi-truck fire.
Okay. Not exactly the most uncommon thing, right? Happens all the time on the highway.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But this one, it happened on I-70 near Topeka, Kansas. And, well, it kind of spiraled in a way that I just found fascinating.
I see. So more to it than meets the eye. What makes this particular fire so special?
It's not so much the fire itself, but the ripple effects, you know? This section of I-70,
Yeah.
it sees a ton of truck traffic, like a major artery for goods and all that. So any kind of disruption there.
Oh, I can imagine that would cause quite a backup. So what happened? Give me the details. When, where, how bad was it?
So picture this, 5:25 a.m. Wednesday morning, just west of the Shawnee-Wabaunsee County line.
Okay, so just west of Topeka. Got it. Setting the scene. Early morning, probably still dark out.
Pitch black. And bam, this semi-truck bursts into flames,
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're talking a serious fire here, not just a little engine trouble.
fully engulfed. And when I say engulfed, I mean engulfed. Luckily, no injuries reported.
That's good, at least. But a whole truck up in flames. That must have been something to see.
I know it's terrifying to think about, but there's also something almost mesmerizing about fire, isn't there?
Yeah, I get that. Kind of a primal thing. But yeah, terrifying in this situation, for sure. So, what happened next? Highway shut down, I'm assuming.
You bet. I mean, you can't exactly have traffic flowing past a massive inferno, right? They shut down the entire westbound lane. Traffic backed up for miles.
Miles. Wow, I bet that caused a huge headache for anyone trying to get anywhere that morning. So how'd they get around it?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. Authorities had to get creative. They set up this detour, directing drivers off the interstate at Carlson Road.
Carlson Road. Okay. I'm picturing this on a map in my head. So off the interstate, then what?
North to Rossville, then west on US 24.
Ah, so basically a big loop around the fire to rejoin I-70 further down.
Exactly. And get this, even the semis, the big rigs, they had to navigate this back road route. Can you imagine?
Oh, I bet that was a sight. Those small towns probably weren't used to that kind of traffic.
Right, and I saw this Facebook post with a photo showing the line of cars backed up. I mean, just 30 minutes after the fire started, the line was almost back to Carlson Road. Crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to forget, how one incident can just throw everything off. The impact on those local communities, all those drivers stuck, it's a lot.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the firefighters.
Hmm.
I mean, they were out there battling this blaze in 3-degree weather.
Oh, wow, that's brutal. Must have been incredibly tough to fight that fire in those conditions.
Seriously. The report mentioned multiple crews from Shawnee County had to come assist the Maple Hill Fire Department.
Yeah, sounds like an all-hands-on-deck situation.
And they were still fighting it hours later. The report said it was still smoldering and producing smoke even after all that time.
Man, that fire really put up a fight. Makes you
Yeah.
appreciate the dedication of those firefighters putting themselves out there like that.
No kidding.
Yeah,
It's easy to overlook the risks they take, especially in conditions like that.
definitely. Oh, and speaking of risks and damage, there was this detail that I found really interesting in the report. KDOT, the Kansas Department of Transportation,
Yeah.
they were out there salting the left lane.
Salting. Like
Yeah.
with road salt. Why would they do that?
Right, exactly. Road salt makes you think, right? It suggests that the heat from the fire might have actually damaged the road surface itself.
Oh, I see. So like warping the asphalt or something.
Yeah, potentially.
Hmm.
And it makes you wonder, what are the protocols for assessing that kind of damage and who's responsible for the repairs?
That's a good question.
Uh-huh.
And it really highlights how we often take our infrastructure for granted, right? Until something like this happens.
Absolutely. And it makes you think about those ripple effects we talked about. Like, what about the delivery of goods? If that section of I-70 is out of commission for repairs, that could have a major impact on businesses and consumers.
Right. Delays, shortages, increased costs, all that.
Exactly. Raises a bigger question, too, I think. Do we have adequate backup plans for situations like this when major transportation routes get disrupted?
It's something to think about for sure. We're so reliant on these systems working smoothly.
We are. And this fire, as small as it might seem in the grand scheme of things, it shows just how vulnerable those systems can be.
Yeah, it's eye-opening.
Yeah,
This deep dive really makes you realize how interconnected everything is, doesn't it?
it does. And how even a seemingly isolated event can have consequences that reach far beyond that one spot on the map.
Absolutely. Definitely something to ponder. Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up here. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
As always, it's been a pleasure. And hey, listeners, keep those questions and comments coming. We love hearing from you.
Until next time.
Take care.